and this is essentially additional features that come with the panel. So would the green background be too harsh for you? You can make it a little bit more subtle by making it blue, or perhaps you would like to have your standard green board back to have that authentic classroom feel. Perhaps you have a need for a grid line or a sports field, or perhaps you just want to simply customize it to any image that you might have on your computer. You are also able to do that. Then next in line would be your tools. So these are essentially extra things you can do over and atop the Note program. For instance, the whiteboard to give you some extra writing area, your clocks, your calendars, your magnifying glasses, your masking feature. So for instance, if you have question and answer time, you can write the answers on the board, close off the panel, and then they have to recall from memory. And then you do have a couple of additional features like your spotlight, your timer, and your object booth. All right. Then the last one in line is more resources. So as I mentioned previously, you can essentially load anything onto the computer and then access that content through the Note program. Next, I'm going to move over to our subject matters once again. The quick drop menu does sit in the left here, and as soon as I click on it, I will go through them from bottom to top in order. So the Note one over here, the very bottom one over there, which says Note, is the green interface that we have been using. Then you get your chemistry, which is a light blue interface, your physics, which is a dark blue interface, your English, which is a brown interface, and then your math, which is a white interface. So to start from the bottom, I've already touched onto the Note, so I'm going to go into the chemistry part of the software. Now, as you can see, this does change the tooltips at the bottom slightly, giving you access to a couple of different features. Now, the first feature I want to touch on to is the periodic elements. So as you see there, if you click on it, it will bring up calcium. To duplicate that element is as simple as clicking a few buttons, and then to compare that element with the next one in line, which is scandium, it's as simple as opening up the periodic table, clicking on scandium, and now you have a visual representation of the two different periodic elements. Then next, I want to touch onto the treasure box. So every time you change the subject with the quick drop menu, you do change the discipline tools in the treasure box. So as you can see, you have a bunch of options available for chemistry. However, I want to use the test beakers as I quite like playing with them. Now, these are interactable in the sense that you can change the liquid color to whatever you want to, and it's also got pinch to zoom features. So let's say you want to rotate this slightly or make it bigger or smaller, you can do that with the pinch to zoom feature. Then lastly, I'm going to change this one to blue quickly, liquid color, blue, and then put a cap on. Now this is very important because once the cap is on, that liquid won't fall out, and you can do whatever you want to with these beakers without having to worry about a mess. Now, once you rotate that back up, take the cap off, and as I've mentioned, you do have pinch to zoom, so you can make it bigger or smaller, or you can rotate this beaker and then simply pull the content out, and that will fill up the next beaker, overflow, and then fill up the bottom one. Now this is my explanation on how to mix colors, so blue plus yellow equals green. All right, moving on from there, the next one in line is physics, which is essentially a program that allows you to create grid lines and show off some resistant forces. Now, I'm by no means an electrician, but to quickly showcase this part of the software, I'm going to quickly assemble a grid line, and then you can essentially activate it and showcase how it will work. So once all your wires are connected, it's as simple as turning on the switch and then turning on the light bulb to showcase how that would have worked, or the circuit would work. Then next in line is English, which is unfortunately just a 4-line writing grid, but we have been told that these stylists are the perfect thickness for the younger ones to start learning how to write, and then you can pair this with your 4-line writing grid in order to teach them how to write properly. Moving on from there, I'm going to quickly go over to the last one, which is maths. Now maths changes the background again to white. It also gets some additional features, and as you can see at the bottom, it does turn the tooltips or change the tooltips slightly again. So first of all, you do have your automatic shapes that you can add your radii and your diameter. Same with your triangles, and then your squares and all of the other shapes. Next, you do have your 3D shapes, which are completely interactable in the sense that you can move them around, twist them. You can also change the line color as well as the fill color to make that shape just a little bit more visual. In the treasure box over here, you do have your recognized formula, your draw function, your compass, your calculators, and your other tools for maths as well. Now, let's say you are busy with a math problem and you want to work out the angle of a branch on a tree, and you have made a mess like I have. It's a simple, once again, moving the content out of the way or making it smaller and moving it out of the way. And then from here, you can combine that with our websites or search function, which sits over here. So as soon as you click there, this will take you directly to the internet, whichever search browser you want to use. I like Google, so I'm going to just use Google, and then I'm going to Google a tree. Now from here, this is dependent on your Wi-Fi. However, as soon as the search is done, you can simply cut an image of a tree out of the YouTube or out of Google, implement it into your lesson, and then you can manipulate it further from here. Would it be cropping, using the Photoshop feature, duplicating it, or anything like that? I, however, want to combine this with our recognized automatic handwriting recognition. So if I then had to go write that this is indeed a tree, it will turn it into block letters for me, explaining to everybody that that is indeed a tree. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow, like, and share. My name is Yaku from Tutortouch.